Hello, this is a comparison video between the Graf Von Faber Castell Classic and the Pernambuco wood finish to the Caran Leman, the older Leman in fine, and the newer Leman in medium nib. This is an extra fine nib. So let's get into comparisons. I'll just do the both models just so people are going to get the pre-owns. There's more of these models on the market, on the pre-owned market, than these kind of models. So I'll just show the difference between both of them. So let's get into it. When it comes to Graf Von Faber Castell, they're known for their clips, like this spring loaded clip, which is very useful. One of my favorite clips, not my most favorite. It's very useful, easily goes into your pocket, spring loaded. It's chrome finish. You have the Graf Von Faber Castell logo, has like a dome type, and it's cartridge converter, so this is not a piston knob. And on the band it says Graf Von Faber Castell, handmade in Germany. On the Caran Leman, it says Caran on the band. You have the old Caran logo. It's a stiff clip. It's way more stiff than the Graf Von Faber Castell. This is less stiff. It is as smooth as this clip, the newer Leman clip. This is the newer logo compared to the old logo. It says Caran on it, and it says Swiss made. That's like one of the only differences between this and this, the logo. And this has more width, and it's a little bit pretty much the same length, but it's more girdier. But now let's get into the nib. The nibs are between the old and the new. The sizes are the same, just the scroll work is a little bit different. And so here you have it. I'm just gonna put it down. You can see the length. The Graf Von Faber Castell Classic is a little bit longer, but it's a lot slimmer. The nib sections are also, so this Grand Blue version is also metallic, but it's more girdier and flares out a little bit better, but this also flares out. Then you have this one, which the nib section is a lot smaller and doesn't flare out like the other two. The nibs are similar size. The width is bigger, but they're pretty much the same length. And they're all 18 karat gold nibs. These are both in rhodium trim, whereas this is two-tone. As you can see, you can post all of these pens, but I'm not gonna post these two because they're made out of lacquer, so you might damage it. But you can securely post to Graf Von Faber Castell if you wish. Kind of doesn't really click on, but it's very secure. You do not want to post these because these are both lacquered pens. In terms of the mechanism, this is screw-on cap, I believe. These are all screw-on caps, which I really like. They're all cartridge converters. They hold good enough ink. I don't really care about that much ink capacity, so it's not a problem with me. But if you want a bigger ink capacity, then these two are not the option. And for the, just gonna open just one of them. Since they're both cartridge converter and they both screw-on converters, which I really like, so you don't accidentally pull it out. But yeah, this section is Ebony lacquer, so it's not as slippery as the other two. So if you want less slippery sections, then I would go with this. But this is a smaller section, so that might be a problem for you. But this is not slippery as the other two, which is a big pro for me. But yeah, in terms of just more size comparisons, I can show next to other pens like the Custom 23. Pelican M805, Yukari Royale, M1005, Visconti Homo sapiens, and Pilot Custom Urushi. This thing dwarfs all of them. I'm just gonna move them up a little bit. I'm doing this through looking at my camera, sorry about that. But yeah, now let's get into final conclusions about all these pens. Just Caran and the Graf Von Faber Castell. They're both one of my favorite brands, hence why I'm doing a comparison. Why I have two of these. The only con of this for me is just the slimness of this, which can be a problem. This is a very slim pen for some people. This is still very comfortable for me, but this is slim. It's a lot lighter than these two. These are pretty heavy pens. These are pretty heavy pens, so that's just without capping them. And you do not want to cap this as well. This is like made out of straight up metal, so this is going to be pretty heavy. And one of the things I don't like about this is you can stain the wood when you're cleaning this. So that when you're inking it up, you can stain it. So that you have to be careful about that. I've had this for over a year now and have no stains yet, thankfully. But that's something to look out for. And yeah, these are both great. I'll get more into just the writing sample, but in terms of writing experience overall, I think these two are more smoother. This has more feedback, but this is an extra fine, so keep that in mind. The medium and broad of this will be medium and fine of this are just as smooth as these two, but these Caran Lemans are one of the smoothest pens I've ever have written with, and had no problem with any like hard starting or anything like that. But if I haven't written with this for like several weeks now, so you'll obviously have a hard time starting in the beginning if you do that, which we'll see. But yeah, they're both great pens. I enjoy them both a lot. Now, in terms of price, this retails for I think $550. This is close to $1,000. So is this, I think, but I was able to get this for about $300. Yeah, something around there, which I think is a great deal. And this I got this for around $300 as well. So I think 350, 340, something around that range. It's a very expensive pen for both price ranges, but they're similar price range, and I bought this brand new, these two pre-owned. So this was cheaper. Obviously, the retail value of this is twice as this, but if you buy them pre-owned, I think they are both worth it. You can get this pre-owned like two something, like just under 300. You can get this for like 300, 350, which I think is very much worth it. It's in the same price range as like the Pelican M800 special editions, and I prefer this over them, honestly. And I have a special edition M805, and I use these two more than this, even though I use this a lot as well. So keep that in mind. These two brands are not as much known in the fountain pen community, unfortunately, but they're one of the most well-made and one of the best writing experience fountain pens I've ever written with. Hence why I have three of these. So I encourage people to try them out, and if you like them, if you don't like them, just give it a shot. But yeah, let's get into the writing sample. This is the writing sample of the Caran Leman fine nib, medium nib to Graf Von Faber Castell Classic and extra fine. Let's start with the Graf Von Faber Castell Classic, then we'll get into the two nibs of the Caran Leman. Okay. Oops, I think. Castell. This is a very smooth nib for an extra fine, especially. Classic in the pernambuco wood finish. I don't know how to spell that, but the ink is Graf Von Faber Castell, carbon black, my favorite black ink. Now, like, as you can see, it's very smooth. It has some feedback, but it's a good type of feedback. There's some line variation, but this is an extra fine, so not as much. And it is a medium wetness. It's not too wet nor too dry either. It's just perfect balance. But yeah, this has some feedback, but it's not as smooth as the kind that someone else show you, but does feel great. As mentioned, you have to be careful when you have ink stains to not touch the wood. You might stain it. Now let's get into the Caran. I'll start with the medium nib. Then we'll get into I'll start with the fine nib, which is close to the extra fine. Then get into medium. So Caran Leman fine nib. It's Ebony black lacquer. Ink is Caran organic brown. Sorry about my handwriting, looking through my iPhone. This is very smooth. It's more smoother than the classic, but it is by no means like bad or anything. It's just really smooth. It's slight feedback. It's like less feedback than the classic, but it's very smooth. There's not that much line variation either. And in terms of wetness, it is more wet, but the ink is wet as well, but it's very smooth. It's a medium-sized wetness. I wouldn't say it's a gusher either, but the medium is, because the medium is more tipping, so it's going to be more smoother. So I haven't written with this for a while. Sorry about that. It's not with the pen. Just haven't written with this for like 2 weeks. The Leman, this is a medium, and the ink is, it's not the pen, it's also carbon black. I haven't written with this for a while. It is way more wet, but yeah. As you can see, it's more wet, has less feedback. It's now starting to get back to normal because I haven't written with this for a while. There's some line variation with this, more than the fine due to bigger tipping, but yeah, this feels great. Just hard starting because I haven't run with this for a while, but yeah, in terms of just all three of these pens, I would say the classic has more feedback, and this is also extra fine. So for extra fine, it's very smooth, one of the smoothest extra fines from Western companies, and has some feedback. It's like has similar type sailor feedback, but it's not as noise making. Whereas the Leman is just butter smooth with like slight feedback that's just letting you know that you're writing, but it's just way more smooth. But keep in mind, it's extra fine, fine, medium. The medium is just the smoothest I've ever tried, smoother than all the pelicans I've ever tried. Whereas the extra fine is also very smooth, smoother than most mediums and broads. In terms of most fountain pens. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day. You can't go wrong with neither of them. And if you like the sleek, slim design and some type of feedback and want a smoother feeling, then go to the Graf Von Faber Castell Classic. If you want more thicker, more weight, then go with the Leman. Thank you. Have a great day.